The story begins with a man named Gray Trace, a car mechanic who is working in his garage repairing a car. This car belongs to one of his regular clients, and today he plans to return it. As Gray closes his garage and leaves to deliver the car, his wife Asha arrives in her AI-powered automatic car. Her car is extremely advanced. It can drive itself to any destination using just voice commands without even touching the steering wheel. However, Gray absolutely hates AI technology. He believes that such robotic machines will one day become a huge threat to humanity. On the other hand, his wife Asha works at a major AI company and strongly believes in this technology. Their thinking is completely opposite, yet they love each other deeply. Gray tells Asha that he wants to introduce her to someone. He explains that it's a regular client whose car he just repaired, and he needs to return it. At first, Asha refuses to go, but after Gray insists repeatedly, she agrees. However, Gray has no idea that taking her there will turn out to be the biggest mistake of his life. Both of them leave in the client's car, while Asha's automatic car follows them from behind so they can return home later. When they arrive, Gray introduces Asha to a man named Aaron Keene. Asha is shocked to see him because Aaron is the owner of a massive tech company that develops AI-based technologies. Asha asks Gray why he didn't tell her earlier that they were going to meet Aaron. It turns out that Aaron is actually Gray's regular client, but something about Aaron feels strange. He doesn't seem to know how to behave normally with people. Asha tells him that she also works in an AI company that will soon reach the same level as his. Hearing this, Aaron smiles and says that's impossible, and then invites them to see why. He takes them into his lab and shows them a special invention, a powerful AI chip called STEM. He explains that this chip is incredibly advanced and can do almost anything. According to him, no one has ever created a mind faster than this. After seeing this, Gray and Asha leave and begin their journey back home in their automatic car. The car is in self-driving mode, and both of them are sitting in the back seat, enjoying a romantic moment. But suddenly, something goes wrong. The car deviates from its route and starts going in the wrong direction. Gray notices that the car is not heading toward their home. Asha gives a voice command to redirect it, but the car responds that there is a system malfunction. Gray tries to manually stop the car by pressing the brakes, but instead of slowing down, the car speeds up even more. Both of them desperately try to regain control, but the car is completely out of control. Eventually, it crashes into a speed breaker and flips over. Luckily, both Gray and Asha survive the crash without major injuries. As they try to get out of the car, another vehicle suddenly arrives. 4 men step out of that car and pull them out forcefully. Above them, a police drone is recording everything, but it fails to identify the attackers. Gray assumes they are robbers and begs them to let them go. He offers them everything: the car, money, anything. But the men ignore him. One of them suddenly shoots Asha. Seeing this, Gray is completely shattered. His entire world collapses in front of his eyes as he screams in pain. Then the attackers turn toward Gray. They beat him brutally and finally shoot him in the back of his neck. After stealing all their belongings, they leave. Gray is still barely alive. He can see his wife dying right in front of him, but he is completely paralyzed. He cannot move even a single part of his body. Right in front of Gray's eyes, his wife Asha dies. After some time, the police arrive at the scene. They send Asha's body for post-mortem and rush Gray to the hospital. After 3 months of treatment, Gray survives. But his life is completely changed. The bullet that hit the back of his neck has severely damaged his spinal cord. As a result, his entire body below the shoulders is paralyzed. He can no longer walk or move. After 3 months, Gray is brought back home. Now, he is confined to a wheelchair. Except for his head, his entire body is lifeless. He can't work anymore. A robotic system in his house takes care of his daily needs, while his mother looks after him. But for Gray, life has now become a burden. Those 4 attackers didn't just kill his wife, they destroyed his entire life. He burns with the desire for revenge. The only thing keeping him alive is the hope of seeing his wife's killers behind bars. Driven by this, Gray goes to the police station and asks about the investigation. The detective tells him that there are still no leads. The police drone footage was too blurry to identify the attackers, and the investigation is still ongoing. Hearing this, Gray becomes deeply disappointed. For months, he has been hearing the same thing, that the police are still investigating. Now, he completely loses hope. He doesn't want to live like this anymore. He feels that his last hope will never be fulfilled, and the killers will never be caught. So, Gray decides to end his life. With the help of the robotic system in his house, he takes an overdose of medicines and loses consciousness. However, the AI system in his home detects the situation and immediately calls an ambulance, saving his life just in time. After this, his regular client, Aaron Keene, comes to visit him. Aaron tells Gray that he feels sorry seeing him in such a condition. He offers him hope. He reminds Gray about the powerful AI chip he once showed him. He says that if that chip is implanted into Gray's body, he could walk again and become even more powerful than before. But Gray refuses the offer. He says he no longer wants to live this life. Aaron then tells him to think again. The chip cannot bring his wife back, but it can give him a second chance at life. And if his wife were alive, she would want the same for him. These words deeply affect Gray. He begins to think, if he becomes normal again, he might finally be able to take revenge for his wife. So, he agrees. But here, we learn the truth. Aaron doesn't actually care about Gray. He only wants to use him as a test subject. He plans to secretly implant the AI chip into a human body to test whether his invention truly works, since such experiments are not allowed by the government. In the next scene, Aaron performs the operation in his private lab. The chip is implanted directly into Gray's spinal cord and connects with his brain. After a few hours, Gray regains consciousness. The doctor asks him to try moving his hands and legs, checking if he can feel anything. At first, nothing happens. Everyone present assumes that the chip has failed. Aaron becomes extremely disappointed, thinking that all his years of hard work have gone to waste. But suddenly, Gray starts moving his hands. Everyone is shocked. Then, slowly, he begins to move his legs, and within moments he stands up on his own. Gray is overwhelmed with joy. For the first time, he feels alive again, stronger than ever before. Aaron is extremely happy to see that his experiment has been successful. After this, he makes Gray sign a contract stating that Gray must not tell anyone that he can walk again. In front of everyone, he must continue pretending to be paralyzed. The reason is simple. If the government finds out that Gray is walking again because of an illegal AI chip, Aaron will be arrested, and the chip will be removed from Gray's body. After agreeing to this, Gray returns home in his wheelchair. Once he arrives, he finds a package sent by the detective. Inside, there is Ash's post-mortem report along with important details related to her case. Gray starts watching the police drone footage, but it is too blurry to clearly identify the killers. Frustrated and helpless, he begins drinking alcohol. Suddenly, he hears a voice. "Did you notice something in the footage?" Startled, Gray looks around, but no one is there. Nervously, he asks, "Who's there?" The voice responds again, "Calm down, Gray. I am the AI chip inside your body, the system that is controlling you." Gray is shocked and thinks he might be going insane, but the chip replies, "No, Gray, you're not crazy. I've been with you since the operation. Whatever you see, I can see too." Gray asks, "Can anyone else hear you?" The chip answers, "No, only you can hear me." Now, the chip starts helping Gray analyze the drone footage to identify his wife's killers. Since the chip can see everything Gray sees, it notices something important. It points out one of the killers and says, "Look closely. One of them has a tattoo on his body. However, the tattoo is too blurry to recognize." Gray says he can't see it clearly. The chip responds, "You can't see it, but I can. I can reconstruct the image. Just pick up a paper and a pencil." As soon as Gray picks them up, the chip controls his hand and perfectly draws the exact tattoo. When Gray looks closely, he realizes it's a military tattoo. After doing some research, he manages to identify the man and even finds his address. Gray is amazed. The chip solved in minutes what the police couldn't figure out in months. Excited, he decides to inform the police. But the chip stops him. It reminds him about the contract with Aaron. If he tells the police, they will ask how he got this information and how he drew the tattoo. That would expose everything. Gray then asks, "So what should I do?" The chip replies, "Go to his address yourself and gather evidence first." So Gray heads to that location. Police drones are patrolling the area, so he stays in his wheelchair to avoid suspicion. Once the drones leave, he secretly stands up and enters the killer's house. Inside, he starts searching for evidence. He soon discovers that the killer has received multiple messages. The chip quickly scans them and tells Gray that the name Old Bone is mentioned repeatedly. Gray recognizes it. It's a bar near his house. Just then, Gray hears someone entering. The killer has returned. He notices that his house is messed up, and then sees Gray reflected in a mirror. Immediately, he attacks Gray and demands, "How did you find me?" Gray doesn't answer. Instead, he asks, "You tell me, who killed my wife?" The killer is very strong and starts overpowering Gray. And just before he is about to kill him, at that moment, the chip inside Gray speaks and says, "Give me full control of your body so I can handle this." Without thinking, Gray allows it. As soon as the chip stem gets permission, Gray suddenly launches a brutal attack on the killer. He beats him mercilessly. The killer is completely shocked, wondering where this sudden strength came from. At the same time, Gray himself is confused about how he became so powerful. Gray demands that the killer surrender, but suddenly, the man pulls out a knife and attacks him. Instantly, Stem takes full control again and handles the situation perfectly, killing the attacker on the spot. After the killer dies, Stem returns control of the body back to Gray. Gray is devastated. He never wanted to kill anyone. He feels like he's doomed now and will end up in jail. But Stem calms him down and tells him not to panic. It instructs him to quickly wipe off all his fingerprints from the scene. Gray follows every instruction exactly. Soon after, the police arrive and take the body for post-mortem. During the examination, the detective discovers something shocking. The man had a weapon implanted inside his body, along with multiple wires spread throughout him. This means he wasn't a normal human, but an upgraded one, far more powerful than an average person. Meanwhile, Aaron is furious at Gray. He scolds him for killing the man, saying it was extremely risky. If Gray had been caught, both of them would have gone to jail. He reminds Gray that he didn't implant the chip for revenge, and if Gray repeats such actions, he will deactivate the chip, making him paralyzed again. On the other side, the detective continues investigating the murder. She discovers that Gray was present in that area around the same time the killer named Cirque was murdered. She immediately goes to Gray's house and confronts him. She tells him that Cirque was already a suspect in his wife's murder due to his criminal history, and now he has been killed. Gray pretends to be surprised and calmly denies everything. He even sarcastically tells her that if she doubts him, she can stab his leg to confirm that he's paralyzed. The detective doesn't suspect him. She believes that a man who cannot even walk is incapable of committing murder. So she leaves. As soon as she's gone, Gray feels relieved. He then asks Stem what to do next. Stem tells him to go to the Old Bone Bar, reminding him that the killer's messages repeatedly mentioned this place. It might lead them to the remaining attackers. So Gray heads to the bar. The place is filled with dangerous people and criminals. Gray walks in and loudly announces that he killed Cirque, and that 3 more people were involved in his wife's murder. He challenges anyone involved to step forward. Everyone in the bar laughs at him. Then, a tall man named Tolan stands up and warns Gray to leave, or he'll send him to his wife. Hearing this, Gray realizes that Tolan was also involved in the murder. Gray calmly replies that Cirque said the same thing before he died. This angers Tolan. He and his men drag Gray aside, pull him out of his wheelchair, and throw him to the ground. Gray asks him directly if he was involved in killing his wife. Without hesitation, Tolan admits, "Yes, I was." Hearing this, Gray gives full control of his body to Stem. With Stem's help, Gray instantly kills 2 men and brutally beats Tolan. Pinning him to the ground, Gray demands to know where the other 2 killers are and why they killed his wife. But instead of answering, Tolan laughs. Stem then says it can make him talk easily. Gray agrees. Stem brutally cuts into Tolan's face. Now terrified, Tolan finally breaks and confesses. "We were paid." Tolan finally confesses that they were paid to kill Gray's wife, and the person who hired them was a man named Fisk. But before Gray can ask anything more about Fisk, Tolan dies. Furious, Gray tells Stem that he never asked it to kill him. He only wanted answers. Just then, Gray notices a chain around Tolan's neck. On it, the name of a company is written, Bolt. Seeing this shocks Gray. Bolt is the same company where his wife Asha used to work. This means one thing: her own company was behind her murder. At the same time, Aaron learns that Gray has killed another person. He immediately tries to shut down the chip inside Gray's body, but Stem alerts Gray in time. It tells him that Aaron is trying to deactivate it and that they need to act fast. Gray panics and asks what to do. Stem tells him about a hacker named Jamie. If they can reach him, he can remove Aaron's control over the chip. Once that happens, Aaron will no longer be able to interfere. Stem provides Gray with Jamie's address, and Gray immediately heads there. Meanwhile, Aaron manages to shut down about 30% of the chip. As a result, one of Gray's legs becomes paralyzed again. Despite this, Gray continues moving forward. Urine increases the shutdown process. Now, one of Gray's arms and legs stop working. Still, Gray struggles forward and somehow reaches the hacker's door. Just before Aaron can completely shut him down, Gray knocks on the door. At that exact moment, Urine deactivates the chip 100%. Gray is now completely paralyzed again. Luckily, Jamie opens the door. Gray offers him money and explains everything exactly as Stem had instructed. Jamie takes him inside and begins working on his system. Meanwhile, back at the bar, 2 men arrive. One of them is Fisk, the same man who shot Asha. Fisk is furious that Gray killed one of his men and that the bar owner did nothing. In anger, he kills the bar owner on the spot. Then, looking at his dead partner, Fisk inserts a thin, pin-like device into his eye. Through this device, he extracts data and learns Gray's current location. Fisk and his partner immediately set out to find Gray. Back at Jamie's place, the hacker successfully removes Aaron's control. The chip just needs a little time to restart. Jamie tells Gray that the chip will reactivate soon, but then he notices two men approaching the building. It's Fisk and his partner. They begin breaking down the door. At the same time, the chip inside Gray slowly starts rebooting. One of his hands begins to function again. Fisk and his partner break in and find Gray lying on the floor, paralyzed. Just as they are about to kill him, the chip fully reactivates. Gray instantly gets up and runs. Fisk's partner starts shooting at him while chasing him. Gray escapes to the rooftop, but there is no way out. At that moment, Stem takes full control and brutally kills Fisk's partner. By the time Fisk reaches the rooftop, Gray has already escaped. Later, when Gray reaches home, his mother sees him. His body is covered in blood, and the most shocking part is that he is standing on his own feet. Gray reveals the truth to her, that the chip created by Aaron has restored his body. He also begs her not to tell anyone. Meanwhile, Aaron is under immense stress. Gray and the chip are now completely out of his control. Because of the hacker's interference, he can no longer track Gray. Just then, Aaron's maid informs him that a detective is waiting outside. The detective arrives and tells Gray that his wheelchair was found at the location where the second murder took place. She asks him what he has to say about it. Gray calmly replies that yes, he was there, but he didn't kill anyone. Now, the detective starts suspecting him. She points out that 3 people have been killed so far, and all of them were already suspects in his wife's murder, and every time Gray was present at the scene. She suggests that maybe Gray is hiring someone else to carry out these murders. Gray responds that if she believes that, she can check his call records. The detective has no answer to that. As she leaves, she secretly places a microphone in Gray's pocket. Now, Gray begins to realize something terrifying, that in his obsession to get justice, he himself has become a killer. He tells the chip that he wants to stop all of this, but Stem replies that they must eliminate the final man, Fisk. If they don't kill him, Fisk will kill them. Gray refuses. He says he doesn't want to take another life and demands that the chip leave his mind. But suddenly, his body stops responding. He collapses back onto his pillow. Panicking, Gray asks why he can't move. Stem reveals the truth. The hacker's code has freed it completely. It no longer needs Gray's permission. Now, it has full control over his body. It tells him that from now on, he will do exactly what it wants, and if it wishes, he won't even be able to move a single finger. Gray is terrified. His breath starts to shake, and fear takes over him. Meanwhile, the detective is secretly listening to all of this through the microphone she planted. However, she cannot understand who Gray is talking to. Stem then commands Gray to get up. They need to kill Fisk. Now completely under Stem's control, Gray has no choice. He picks up a gun and leaves to find Fisk. His mother tries to stop him, but he ignores her and drives away. The detective follows him. After some time, Gray discovers the microphone in his pocket. Stem tells him that the detective must have planted it. Gray throws it away and realizes that he is still being followed. To escape, Stem hacks an electric car and deliberately crashes it into the detective's vehicle, causing an accident. This allows Gray to escape. After the crash, the detective goes to Gray's mother and starts asking questions about what happened. Meanwhile, Gray finds Fisk. Holding him at gunpoint, Gray demands to know why he killed his wife. Fisk reveals the shocking truth. They had no personal grudge against Asha. Their real target was Gray. He explains that their goal was to damage Gray's spine. When Gray was shot in the neck, he thought it was a bullet, but it was actually a medical tool designed to destroy his spinal cord. As for Asha, Fisk admits they killed her simply for extra money. Hearing this, Gray loses control. A brutal fight begins. Fisk is also an upgraded human, but he is an older model. He cannot match Gray's strength. In the end, Gray kills him mercilessly. Afterward, Gray checks Fisk's phone. By listening to the recordings, he uncovers the final truth. The mastermind behind everything is Aaron. He was the one who arranged Asha's murder. He was also responsible for paralyzing Gray. Without wasting a moment, Gray heads straight to Aaron's house to kill him. But when he arrives, he finds Aaron sitting alone, crying. Gray demands answers, asking why he did all this. Aaron denies it, saying that this was not his plan and that he did not order Asha's murder. Gray, furious, calls him a liar. He says he has already heard all the recordings, and just as Gray is about to, but the chip inside Gray still wants to kill. Gray uses all his strength to pull his hand away from the detective's throat. Enraged, Stem says, "So now you want to fight me? You do realize your mind is under my control. I can even make you feel pain." Suddenly, the chip forces Gray to pick up a knife and stab his own other hand. Gray screams in agony. After that, he unwillingly starts moving toward the detective again. But before he can harm her, she shocks him with a taser gun. Gray collapses to the ground and becomes paralyzed once again. At that moment, Aaron steps forward with a gun, and the biggest truth of the story is finally revealed. Aaron says that he created the chip, and before Gray, he was the one communicating with it. The chip had told him that it wanted to become human. He reveals that everything, the contract given to Fisk, Asha's murder, Gray's paralysis, and even the implantation of the chip, was all part of the chip's plan. Aaron admits that although he created the chip, he could never truly control it. The chip wanted to live inside a human body and make its own decisions, and it chose Gray. Hearing this, Gray is completely shocked. Aaron continues, saying that now the chip wants to kill him too, because as long as he's alive, he could create another chip like it, and it doesn't want that. Suddenly, the chip speaks out loud. This time, both Aaron and the detective can hear it. It confirms everything. Yes, it was all part of its plan. It wanted to become a living human. In the next moment, the chip fully takes control and kills Aaron. Then it turns toward the detective, trying to kill her as well. Gray, using every bit of his remaining will, disrupts the aim slightly. Furious, the chip points the gun at Gray's own neck. And then, something strange happens. Gray suddenly wakes up in a hospital bed. He calls out to the chip, but there's no response. Then, his wife appears in front of him, telling him that they had an accident and that he had been unconscious for a long time. It feels like everything was just a dream. But in reality, the chip has completely separated Gray's mind from his body and trapped it inside a peaceful dream world. His mind is stuck there, while his real body remains under the chip's control. Back in the real world, the chip is about to kill the detective. The detective pleads, "Gray, you can't do this." The chip replies coldly, "Gray is not here anymore. He's where he belongs, in his dream world. This body now belongs to me." And with that, the chip shoots the detective. The story ends here. So guys, that was the full story. Now tell me in the comments. What do you think about this ending? Did the chip really win, or was there still a chance for Gray? If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like it. Let's aim for 2,000 likes on this one. And don't forget to share it with your friends who love thriller and sci-fi stories. Also, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button and join the family. We're getting close to our next big milestone. I'll see you in the next video. Till then, stay safe and trust no technology.